Why sharing night pictures of the Eiffel Tower is illegal. You may have noticed that most of the pictures you find on the web of the Eiffel Tower were taken during the day, and those pretty night shots of France's most iconic landmark are rather scarce and frustratingly hard to find. Although we all have those friends who love posting pictures of their European travels on Facebook or Instagram, including brightly lit Eiffel Tower and all, you might be surprised to know they are actually breaking the law. Yes, it's true, sharing pictures of the Eiffel Tower night view is illegal. The real reason will surprise you as we show you in this video coming up in a minute. But first, remember to subscribe to our channel and to hit that notification bell for the most interesting topics about the world we live in. Now, let's jump right into the Eiffel Tower story. So, why is it illegal to share pictures of the Eiffel Tower at night? The real reason behind why it is illegal doesn't have anything to do with Green Planet energy-saving measures, residents' complaints, terrorists, or any creative and wild out-of-this-world theories. It's actually much simpler, and it has to do with intellectual property and copyright law. So, how does intellectual property have anything to do with a physical steel structure? First, let's discuss copyright. It is defined by the US Copyright Office as a form of intellectual property law that protects original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works, such as poetry, novels, and architecture. The key here is that last bit of the definition, architecture. You see, when an architect designs a building, a lot of intellectual thought and creativity go with it, and they deserve to be compensated when and if we use their creation for our own benefit. Once the building is finished, even though the building itself could be someone else's property, the design still remains property of the architect, unless he sells that right, of course. Copyright law is the part of the legal system that protects creators from other people who want to take advantage of the original work for their own benefit. If you were an architect and someone else copied your design and built the same building somewhere else, you'd expect them to pay you for all the creativity and hard work that went into making the design. It goes without saying that you'd be really upset if you found out someone stole or copied your work behind your back without proper credit or compensation, wouldn't you? Of course, this makes a lot of sense, but it also brings up an obvious question. What's the big deal if it's just a picture, right? We can no doubt relate to an angry architect who gets his design stolen by someone else. But what's wrong with sharing a harmless picture? It is a tourist landmark after all, and everyone takes pictures. That's right, everyone does, but the problem isn't taking pictures, it's sharing them. Let's say we owned a company that prints postcards, so our main source of income is printing high-quality pictures that catch the eyes. Now let's suppose an artist somewhere paints an incredible, jaw-dropping picture, something that you won't find anywhere else in the world, and we think to ourselves, a picture of this work on a postcard would sell by the thousands. Would you say that we have the right to take a picture of that art piece and use it for our postcard business without the artist's approval first? Of course not, because we would be taking advantage of the artist's creativity, skills, and hard work for our own benefit. The same applies if we wanted to sell pictures of the painting as stock photos or something similar. If we bought the rights to the painting, or if we reached an agreement with the artist and paid them royalty, things would be peachy. These are examples of reaping a direct benefit from pictures of others' work. But we can also ask, what's wrong with sharing those pictures on social media if we're not getting paid for them? The issue here is that arguably we'd still make an indirect benefit from using those pictures. It could be such an awesome picture that goes viral and we instantly get a boost on our number of followers or subscribers, and we all know that those numbers mean money. Okay, but how come it's legal to share pictures of the daytime Eiffel Tower but not at night? That's the million-dollar question. What is the difference between day and night? It's the same building, the same structure, the same surroundings, so what gives? To understand the difference, we have to go back to copyright law. Whenever someone creates something new and unique, they'll hold the copyright for as long as they live, so long as they don't sell it or consciously release it as public domain. When they pass away, that copyright transfers to their heirs, so they'll keep benefiting from the creator's work as a part of their heritage. However, the copyright has an expiration date that starts ticking away the moment the last co-author dies, so after a time, their creation will inevitably become public domain. How long we have to wait depends on the laws of each country. In some countries it's 60 years, in other countries it's 90, and in France it's 70 years. Interestingly enough, it turns out that Alexander Gustave Eiffel didn't actually design the tower that carries his name, but he bought the design along with its patent from engineers Maurice Coquelin and Émile Naguère, and architect Stephen Sylvester, who were the true creators. But Eiffel himself died back in 1923, so ever since 1993, when the copyright expired, the Eiffel Tower and everything related to its design, facade, etc. became public domain. That's why it's okay to share pictures of it during the day, or even to build exact replicas of the structure, even for commercial use, like some you'll find in Las Vegas and other places around the world. But what changes at night? Perhaps if we think about it for just 1 second, the image will come to mind. The lights! During the day, all you can see from the Eiffel Tower is the tower itself, but at night, when the lights go on at sundown, the Eiffel Tower becomes alive and turns into a complete spectacle for the eyes. It turns out that in copyright law, the same principle that applies to the design of a building can also apply to any unique and original enhancements on the building's facade if those enhancements are the fruit of creativity and design work. We have to agree that the lights of the Eiffel Tower are nothing short of a work of art on their own, and the designer Pierre Bedeau holds the copyright. Therefore, taking pictures of the tower at night, when all you can actually see are the lights, and sharing them is a violation of copyright law. Have you ever posted night pictures of the Eiffel Tower online? Comment down below with a yes or no to see how many of us have actually done it. What happens if we share night shots of the Eiffel Tower with all its lights on? Hey, we just found out those pictures we took last vacation, now splattered all over Facebook and shared everywhere on Instagram, are illegal. So what will happen to us? Will the FBI come knocking on our door on a cold winter night and take us to a prison cell in Guantanamo? The prospect is rather serious, but there's no real reason to worry about it just yet. You see, even though the law exists, and we really did break it by sharing those pictures online, no one has ever been sued in the past. We doubt the French government would ever enforce this law against simple tourists, since it would be both very impractical to carry out and detrimental to its tourism industry. But if we were actually planning to use those night pictures for direct profit, we could really get into trouble. And the first thing likely to happen is that we would receive a cease and desist letter from the copyright holders. If we neglect to do so and refuse to pay royalty, we could be looking at a lawsuit. This all comes as a surprise, since the Eiffel Tower is indeed an old building. But we started thinking, there are plenty of newer buildings in cities like Paris, buildings that form an unmistakable part of the city's skyline. Could it be that those buildings are still protected by copyright law also? And therefore, by sharing pictures of them, even those taken during the day would be illegal? Let's find out. What other buildings and landmarks should we worry about? Is it just in France or worldwide? In terms of copyright of publicly visible buildings like the Eiffel Tower, France is more the exception than the rule. It turns out that through the 2001 Copyright Directive, the European Union actually recommends to its members to adopt a freedom of panorama law that allows public and unlimited use of any image or picture of buildings taken in the open. While most EU countries followed these recommendations, France did not. So, as it happens, structures like the glass pyramid at the entrance of the Louvre and Notre Dame de Paris from the inside are copyrighted as well, and we shouldn't share pictures of them, no matter when they were taken. And this is not limited to France either. In the US, you can't share or commercially use pictures of the Hollywood sign or any Las Vegas hotel. In Australia, you can't share pictures of the Sydney Opera House or even of Ayers Rock. But if you go to other countries like UK or Spain, for instance, feel free to shutter away at everything your camera can capture and share it or sell it in any way you like. Now we've discovered the reason why it's illegal to share pictures of the Eiffel Tower at night. Give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. Did it surprise you to learn that you were breaking the law without knowing? Does knowing this make you think twice before sharing pictures online? Join the discussion in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for more interesting discoveries. Watch this video popping up on the screen about 10 things we owe to the French Revolution. See you on the next video.